Raoul Ruparel is the head of economic research at Open Europe. He joins us. Hi, Raoul.
Hi.
Talk to me about what we can expect from this debate. I mean, are we going to learn anything new?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of rhetoric and a lot of political posturing. I mean, the thing about this debate is it's both sides of the spectrum right on the edge. One is basically in at all costs, Nick Clegg, and one is out at all costs, which is Nigel Farage. So I think there's going to be a lot of rhetoric and a lot of talking back against each other. But the last debate did show that they do have some time for substance. There was some discussion of what trade deal the UK could get outside and what the actual economic impact of leaving would be. So I do hold out some hope they may touch on substance, but having read the read-up in the newspapers today, it's getting more personal and more about where each person stands on very broad issues.
But based on your research, and just in case viewers are just joining us and they haven't been following this debate that as we have here, I mean, what do you think the implications would be?
Well, I think that our view is basically that the EU is ripe for reform at the moment. I mean, obviously we had the serious economic crisis in the Eurozone. It's shown that the EU is out of touch democratically, but also out of competitiveness economically. So there are a lot of changes that need to go on, but I think that the best place for the UK remains inside the EU. I think if you leave, it's not clear what the trading relationship would be between the two blocs. And we actually did a wargaming simulation of the negotiations back in December with players playing different countries to try and see what the outcome would be of such a negotiation. And we found that while there was some willingness to give the UK a deal on trading goods, there was much more hostility over services, and particularly financial services. So I think given that that's such a big part of our economy and a big part of our trade surplus in particular, if you don't get a deal on that, then it makes it very different, the world you are outside the EU. So at the moment we're pushing for reform, but from inside the EU, and that's hopefully why this debate is a bit not in touch with the real debate as we see it. It's about how you can reform the EU from the inside, not whether you should leave at all costs or stay in at all costs.
Yeah, we'd be concerned about the effect on UK inward investment. I mean, it's hard to believe that we would have had such an amount of inward investment that we have over the last 30 years had we been outside the EU. It gives foreign companies, those that themselves are not in the EU, whether they be Chinese, Japanese, or from the United States or elsewhere in the world, it gives them access to the entire EU market, and the UK is the natural place for much of that investment. I just don't believe much of it would have taken place had we been outside it.
Yeah, I'd very much agree. I think that investment is a key factor, and we often hear that for financial services in particular, the UK and London is a gateway to the rest of the EU and the single market. So that's a key role that the UK needs to maintain. Yeah. And I think that the big discussion when you get into this debate, I think people underestimate what leaving actually means in terms of negotiations. It's not simply saying we leave and then everyone has a very amicable chat about, well, we'll keep trading with you and we'll give you everything you want. It is going to be a difficult negotiation if you leave. It would be very hostile. It will be emotional, it will be political, and there's no assurances of what deal you would get. And importantly, the UK, once it starts the leaving process, doesn't get a vote on the final deal. It's just handed a deal by the other EU countries in the European Parliament and said, this is the deal we're willing to give you, take it or leave it. And I don't think there are much guarantee there that you will get what you want.
So it's not just financial services, it's real jobs. If I may say that, it's real jobs. To take a random example, would Nissan be in Sunderland employing as many people as it does in the local economy if the UK weren't part of the EU? Difficult to make a strong argument that yes, it would. So that's one example of but many across the country. We pick it at random. We could have chosen any other one, but I think inward investment is a key here.
Raoul, it's been good having you in to talk to us. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon again. Raoul Ruparel, Head of Economic Research at Open Europe.